That's right, everyone. I haven't done a video review on skateboards in probably over a year. Way over a year, I'm assuming. But this is the Zumies mini logo deck. Got this for, I think it was $34.99, maybe $29.99. Honestly, don't remember. I got this board last November when I was still living in North Arizona, before I even moved to Phoenix, before I moved to Portland. This is literally a board that's almost a year and a half old. It's just a blank. I thought that it was only gonna last for a few weeks because I broke my anti-hero board and that completely snapped off and I needed a deck. So I just went to Zumies at the mall in Flagstaff and I got this board thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a new board for Christmas. And I didn't get a board for Christmas because this was just in tip-top shape. This is the damage it's had now, and I've bailed many times. I've gotten the board wet a few times. There's not even that many chips. So here's my review on the Zumies mini logo deck for budget-friendly people who need something cheap. There are some bad things about this deck, so I'm going to mention that. But obviously, we'll start this review with its durability. I didn't think it was going to last this long. Heck, I've still been skating it every time I skate, obviously, for the past year and a half. And I guess it's just gotten worn out. And the biggest reason that I'm getting a new board, which I already got, that'll probably come with a review later, which if you guys are curious, I got this. Got a Baker B2 board, brand new, full complete. Can't even hear the wheels when they're rolling. Really, really sick graphic logo. So they got Thunder trucks, which they're known for their bushings breaking if you try to tighten it way too fast. So I've just been kind of carving bowls and rolling around lately with this board to break it in so I can finally skate with this. But back to what I was saying before. The reason why I'm just getting tired of this board isn't even the deck. Yeah, it's kind of losing its strength and pop, but it's mostly because these wheels are probably like 46 millimeter wheels by now, maybe even smaller. Honestly, I don't know, but these wheels are 51 and let's see if we can do this. Huge difference in size. And these are 51, so these are just small chips. I've had these wheels for probably 3 years now, so whatever. And then the bearings are just totally worn out. And there's a busted bushing on these Thunders and whatever. So I just figured it's a better deal to buy a whole new complete, and it would be nice to have a new deck. Because the concave on this board, honestly, I don't remember how it was when I first got it, but it's kind of flat. Not really. There's maybe not that much pop. It's still pretty good, and it's responsive. But the downside with this board is the wheelbase. See, I didn't really know anything about wheelbase back when I was buying this board. I just got it because it was cheap. So this is an 8.5 deck. This wheelbase on this is 15 inches, which is very, very long because most street decks that you're skating are 14 to about 14.25 inches for the wheelbase. That's kind of on the higher side. If you really, really want to push it, the most that you'll find at many other deck brands, they'll have 4.5, which is already pushing the limit. So I'll explain what wheelbase is and why a long wheelbase kind of sucks for street skating. But yeah, so this Baker board that I got, before I even researched it, when I ordered it, this one has a 14.5 and a half wheelbase. And if you look closely, see how the wheels and trucks are closer together and it's spaced farther apart on the mini logo deck? that's the wheelbase, is the distance between the trucks. So a wider wheelbase is going to be really, really wide. Obviously, it's going to be farther apart. So it's going to be almost like a longboard. So you're going to have more kind of stability when you're rolling around, and it's going to feel nice like that. But your turns are going to be wider, so you're not going to be able to turn as quick. And the biggest thing that really makes a difference with wheelbase is doing certain flip tricks, like especially tray flips, because obviously you have the weight on the trucks, it's farther out, it's going to have a harder time to spin around, kind of like a helicopter, you know. I guess you could think of it like, you know, the closer it gets together, you know, the smaller the like rotation pivot point. So obviously a board with its weight totally spread out is going to be a lot harder to spin around, you know, if you just kind of do it using like a gyro or something, gyroscope, whatever, you know, you're going to feel more force when the weight's on the outside. But if you tighten it, you know, it's going to be able to spin more. So on top of a board being shorter in length, the wheelbase is also going to make a big difference. So this board also, on top of the 15-inch wheelbase, it's 33 inches long. That is the longest for any street deck I've ever skated. Same with the wheelbase. I mean, I knew it was long when I looked at it. I just thought, oh, I'm tall, I can deal with it. And I was able to manage. I mean, this is literally the same board in my older videos where you can see me doing, like from last year, the half impossible, where I just did like a half impossible 180 and then I flipped it back over. And so I've been able to maneuver it. There's also that video where I did that line where I busted a nollie tray and then an ollie varial flip, and I mean, I've been able to do some stuff, but it takes out so much energy in your body. Like, it's just hard to flip it. It's not because it's an 8.5 deck. It's because the wheelbase is extreme. So also when you do kick flips, you really gotta extend. And then if you're doing manuals, apparently manuals are different too with wheelbases. If it's smaller and tighter in, your balance point is going to be closer to the center, so you don't have to like exaggerate your weight as much. You can be more centered, kind of like a little unicycle, versus this huge giant like plank diving board. So the wheelbase and length is very extreme on this, and I have noticed that my tray flips take a lot of effort, and sometimes they just kind of feel crappy. And honestly, I don't think I've done a single 540 flip with this board. Definitely have never done a tray double flip on this board. Like, I've tried to flip it and I just thought I was getting worse. But I looked at my old videos where most of you probably subscribed back at like my peak, whatever. And I looked at the videos where I was doing like tray double flips, like on lock, boom, 360 double flip, quick pop, everything nice. Dolphin flip, like everything that I was doing like crazy, even my triple flips. I looked at the model of those boards and I looked it up and I saw the wheelbase and I saw that it was like 14 inches or 14.25, because those were all 8.5 decks. And so I was like, well, I can flip an 8.25, I'm in an 8.5 deck, but I was like, maybe I'm just getting old, maybe I'm just getting bad. But I realized that those boards, finally, after all of these years of skating, me being totally naive, they had really short wheelbases, so they were able to rotate better. You still get the wide width for like big feet, because I have a size 12 to 13 shoe, just depending on the shoe model, and you know, you could still flip it. So wheelbase is very, very important if you're trying to do technical tricks. I mean, if you're just kind of riding around and popping a few ollies, the wheelbase probably won't matter as much. But if you've ever like lost your tricks and you want to know why, it could be the wheelbase. Because I've tried to dolphin flip on this, and I've only gotten a few, and they just take everything in me, because it feels like I'm just like, I don't know, I couldn't explain it, but that's the thing. So to sum up the review for this cheap board from Mini Logo that I got at Zumies, it's very durable, does not really break. If you look at it, you probably can't see because I don't have a 4K camera yet, but there's maybe like one or two like very, very, very shallow pressure cracks. Like, that's it. And then maybe like a few hairline ones. Like, you can't even see it unless you like get a magnifying glass. But this board, it just doesn't break. I've like thought I was gonna break it a few times. It doesn't even have a slight crack. So this board for $30 at Zumies, very, very, very durable. Year and a half, skating in multiple states. I've actually I gained some weight. So for the past year on average, I've been close to 200 pounds. So when you're 200 pounds and 6'1", skating this board and it doesn't even get pressure cracks, that's pretty extreme. I will not recommend it for people that are trying to do like triple flips and tray flips and you're very technical. But if you're just like somebody who just does kind of average tricks and you prefer to do grinds or you skate the bowl or you're just kind of cruising the streets, then this is definitely not a bad board. But personally, I don't think I'm going to get it anymore now that I found out about the wheelbase. Again, the concave is not that deep, so that also will affect your flip tricks. And the pop and everything, when you first get it, it is snappy, but obviously all boards are just going to get soggy over time. Plain graphic, and yeah, so if you see this board at Zumies, when you're just looking in the little bin, then I would go ahead and get it if you're interested in those type of tricks. But if you're really, really technical and you want to be doing tray flips and like kickflip 360s or dolphin flips or really weird stuff, then do not get this board. So it's durable, but long wheelbase, long length, and just not as much pop or concave that you would expect from your bigger name brand boards. But for 30 bucks, just for a placeholder deck, you can't beat it. So I'm also assuming though, I know that you guys are probably thinking, oh, well, he had an 8.5, that's why it's so long. Even if you're skating a smaller deck, I'm assuming they scaled down the wheelbase in length too, obviously, but the proportions are still going to be more spread out. So you're going to have more of like a wide split stance. So if you do look at some of my older videos of me skating on this, it does look like I'm kind of like surfboarding some of the tricks. So I'll have some more reviews. I'll definitely do a review on this and the Nike shoes that I have. And I mean, just another thing to exaggerate the wheelbase, this was the board that I had years ago. I still have it just as a backup. And if you look at that, you can see how far apart the wheels are, the trucks. So I'm not crazy. Wheelbase affects your tray flips. You can even look it up on other YouTube videos. So subscribe, and I have some more videos, and I should be getting a GoPro Hero 7 Black very soon. So I'll be doing some 4K 60 frames a second skate videos, because this DSLR is just not reliable when I take it out into the field.